Road to Shredded Day 16. We're starting with weighted dips with 60 pounds of chains. Similar to last week, except the chain load is double, but the top is pretty much the same. This allows us to continue hitting max effort singles week after week without developing any shoulder injuries. And because you deload the weighted stretch ever so slightly, notice there's still a lot of plates hanging off, that preserves your pec tendons as well. So this is how I can max out every single week in a brutal calorie deficit, almost single-digit body fat without injuries. So instead of listening to roid heads who are going to fearmonger you to oblivion, how about you listen to guys like me and calisthenics athletes who have bulletproof pec tendons, shoulders, elbows, etc. So that's what it is. 242 at the top. It was easy. I should have gone heavier. But it doesn't have to be RPE 10. Then we do a back down. 2 plates with the chain. So you can see it's similar to last week where I did 3 plates for sets of 10. So that's how you know the chain is legit. So I got 10 reps on my first set, and as you will see, I only get 8 on the second. It's very difficult, and it tells me that triceps, although they've improved tremendously, are still somewhat of a weak link. I don't feel like my deep pec strength is hindering my gains. And you'll notice that for the bodybuilding work, I do go a couple inches deeper. For the 1 rep max, I go by street lifting standards, so parallel or slightly below, but when I'm trying to build watermelon pecs, I'm going all the way down. The plates are practically skinning the ground, which with the chain variation can sometimes be a problem, because if you're hitting them, you can say that's cutting out ROM just a little bit. Anyway, that's it for the dip. I max out on them once a week. Then we hit some behind the neck presses for more shoulder reinforcement. I've been doing this exercise for like 6 months now. No problems whatsoever. I only wish I did it sooner. And it's going to be fun during the shredding transformation, seeing what's possible with very little lateral raises. And if you see that my delts are bigger than last time, it's because of this, as well as the chest expander. So it's going to be fun. And notice how I'm bringing the bar all the way down and back. It's not towards the base of my neck, rather, it's at the tip of my traps. That is the secret to maintaining a 100% vertical bar path. And it forces you to flare the elbows out. This is what you want for the side delts, being in an abducted position. When the elbows are out in front, that's more stretch on the anterior delts. And although that's still going to be the primary mover here, you do bias this region slightly more. And you hit the little muscles of the upper back. On top of that, you don't need to lift as heavy. So that alone, let's say there were 0 muscular benefits, the fact that it has a good stimulus to fatigue ratio is worth it. Then when you slow down the tempo, pause in the bottom, you're lifting all. But it feels as if you're going heavy on the OHV. So don't fear BTN work just because some old timer who used improper form is telling you it's a one-way ticket to Snap City. The current data does not seem to support that position, and load management is number 1. For chest isolation, we hit incline dumbbell flies. You really don't need a lot of weight here, and you can argue that the stretch is even better. Notice how my elbows are far past the torso in the bottom. This is the proper way to do dumbbell flies. If you're only parallel, you're not getting the maximum stretch on the pecs. Go as deep as your anthropometry allows. And in this case, I do recommend retracting and keeping the chest up. Also pause at the bottom, really holding the stretch, and slowly move out from that position. There's no need to jerk weights around or even bring the dumbbells close together because there's no tension at the top. This is really a free lengthen partial, and it is quite comparable to doing heavy dumbbell presses. It's all about load magnification. That is what happens when the arms are out and you're removing the triceps. It's not that you're getting more chest, it's that you're getting the same stimulus with a fraction of the load. You can get efficient volume in for the chest, really taking it to its limit without having to do more compounds. Now for triceps, we're hitting a new one, the incline one-arm pushdown. This is a lengthen biased pushdown because the direction of resistance is coming from behind. So in the starting position, there is tremendous tension. It is not the lockout that will limit you. But if you do need to grab the cable for assistance, that is also an option, as you will see right here. So feel free to go beyond failure if you so desire. And then here's the other arm. You can see it's coming in towards the neck. My body is slightly offset, which lines me up in a way that's elbow friendly. I value that to death. and I'm going to continue being a broken record in every single triceps video I post for the eternity of this channel. Because if you're not addressing this, man, you will end up with tennis elbow one day, or just tendonitis, and that will plague you for months, years, stop all progress. Literally, your gains are over when your elbows start hurting. And this happens to be very easy on them because the elbow can move out naturally like it wants to do. So mix in stuff like this, feel free to push the intensity. And then for your more restrictive stuff, use slow and controlled technique or avoid the lockout. But there's ways, Basically, high exercise selection solves everything. And this right here is a stable option for isolating your triceps, one arm at a time for good force production. You can concentrate on the weaker side. It is worth doing. It's going to get you big by itself. So now that the elbows are warmed up, we hit my classic decline dumbbell extension. Can only do 48 pounds. So I used to do 60 in my prime, which was only a couple months ago. But you know what? I will take this. I have never extended this much weight at 162. So my tricep strength is higher than it was last time. That's why I'm saying when I am single digit ready, you're gonna see some crazy horseshoe action. It's gonna be unbelievable. I can already tell. So I'm hitting lower reps, and you may notice that was a trend for a lot of the movements we did. Usually I'm in the 6 to 10 rep range. I can only handle so much fatigue at this point, and my work capacity is starting to suffer. And as long as you use good form, although this set was kind of ugly, not gonna lie, the first was better, shouldn't have any problems. And because I'm rotating movements every freaking workout, that in itself goes a long way in keeping me healthy. So here's a physique update. Oh yeah, we're back. Already, this is a great maintenance weight for life. But I'm gonna keep pushing it, showing you what's possible. You see the mass, the definition is there. Let's get shredded. Every week, it's going to get better and better.